You want to lead us in it?
Lead us in what? Prayer?
No. You can.
Lead us in introducing what this episode is. So we're starting the episode.
Welcome. We're somewhere in between, and this is podcast episode number 2, navigating entrepreneurship. I guess that's like I was in the Navy, so I feel like I'm supposed to know a little bit about navigation, even though I took the class more times than average sailors. But as we're all three of us being entrepreneurs, we have our own unique experiences that I think have brought us together and brought us to this point. So we want to share our experiences with you, but also kind of highlight some of the things that we've kept in mind on our journey that we know could be useful to you out there. So let's open up with the first part of just being an entrepreneur, like
getting started.
That's okay. You could even define, because I think one of the things you wanted to do was say, what is an entrepreneur?
Yes.
So what is an entrepreneur for you?
For me, an entrepreneur is somebody that just understands how to bring in money, like someone who brings in on their own skill set. So it's not just about being able to do a task that somebody tells you to do. It's about being able to like work outside the box and have a vision and see it through.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay, so I think an entrepreneur is someone that decides to start a business. That's it. Because, I mean, we know some bad business owners and we know some good business owners. So it's just somebody that starts a business.
Yes.
Whether good or bad. But for us, I think it's taking all the things that we've learned in our previous positions and tailoring those skills to the businesses that we want to create.
Yes. And the actual definition of an entrepreneur is a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses, taking on greater than normal financial risk in order to do so.
I didn't think about the risk
financial
part.
risk. So that's something that I read on when I researched like characteristics of entrepreneurs. It was like the ability to take risk. And I was like, if you aren't comfortable stepping outside of comfort zone, you definitely wouldn't be a successful entrepreneur.
No, you can't be used to the normal day-to-day and be an entrepreneur. And just depend on that, because it's not a guaranteed check when you first, especially when you first start. It's not a guaranteed. You're not every week going to get the same check. It's just not how it works in the beginning. You got to figure out what works best for your business. So
go ahead. Well, when you say that, it makes me think about like some of the mistakes or some of the expectations I had when I first decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And like one of those was that I thought I was just going to like buy everything I needed and then people were going to come to me.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people think that. And that brings me to the first bullet point, which is getting started. So when you first decide, hey, there is a need that needs to be met, that is how you're supposed to start when you get ready to do business, is finding out that you are answering or supplying a need that needs to be met, something that you've noticed that people need. So for me, I started a clothing boutique because I felt like there were not enough clothes for professional women that were also fashionable, right? So I, as you can see, like to dress very nicely.
Yes.
I like to look good, and I like to also be more on the professional side, especially if I'm going to be in those kind of spaces. So there just wasn't enough for my size at the time. I'm smaller now, but for my size at the time. So my answer was to create a fashion boutique that was just for entrepreneurial women or professional women that also like to be fashionable. That was me answering the question, but also plus size. So it was just from large on up to, I think I had 4X was the largest size. So that was me answering the question. Well, everything was going good. I bought the stuff. I set up the business. I got my EIN. I was no longer a hobby. I was an actual business, had my bank account set up and everything. And then guess what? Guess what, y'all?
I say COVID.
COVID.
Hey.
Nobody needed it anymore because nobody was going in the office. Nobody
Not
could
at
go
all.
in the office. So COVID hit. And I was not expecting it. Nobody was expecting it. So then it came time to pivot. But how do you pivot that?
You have that mindset of being willing to take those risks, being adaptable, but nobody saw that coming.
Nobody saw it coming. Nobody. So getting started, you have an idea and you take that idea from a dream and make it into reality. You do your research. That is very important. You do market research. That is very important. You find out who your competitors are, and not competitors in the sense that, oh, I'm about to kick this person's ass. No, you find out who else is in the market with you and what they're doing that works. Because if the wheel isn't broken, don't try to reinvent it. Don't try to create a whole nother one. Just go with what works and tweak it to what your business actually needs. And those things are the first things that you need to do when getting started.
Okay, and I want to say, add on to that is you're solving a problem. Yep. So we're solving a problem. Maybe it's something that you've experienced. Like you said, you couldn't find a lot of professional clothing. And for me, when I started my first business, because most of us entrepreneurs, we have about 3 or 4 businesses that we had started when we first started. So mine was called the Indigo House, and it was just an answer to wellness and holistic wellness, because what I didn't see was, after I left corporate, I had a lot of trauma, and I was trying to heal that trauma because I knew how to heal trauma. But when I would go into the spaces, it was nobody that looked like me. And so I felt othered. And that was my answer to solving a problem. Hey, there needs to be a holistic wellness space. And, it needs to have a diverse group,
right?
Like to see other people of color, other able-bodied people, and so that was my answer. But like you said, what we didn't anticipate was not having the space. And I thought that when I got a lump sum of money, that I was just supposed to buy all of my supplies.
Yep. Gotta make sure everything's perfect, ready to go, right?
No.
It just has to be.
And nobody taught us about business credit. So I'm thinking that I have enough money to start a business, and I use everything that I had saved up.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
You're not the only
I can
one.
feel it for you, because I can feel it when I get so excited in that process, especially because you think that all you need is money.
Yes.
You don't understand how to make the money and then put it back in the business. So you get
having
really
a plan.
Excited. Right. You have a plan, but it's like, for me, the plan did not involve making the money and putting it back. It involved taking the money that was there and then spending it on what I thought I needed.
Right.
And a lot of it, at this point, I'm looking at it like I didn't need half of that stuff.
None of it.
I would say I only needed 10% of what I was investing in. So, but you live and you learn.
You do. And you have to allow the business to pay for itself. You have to allow the business to grow. A lot of the times we want to start off with everything, and you can't. Like for the podcast, there's so many things so many big, grand ideas that we have, but we realize that we have to get the ball rolling and then grow into those other spaces, because we create these big, wild dreams, but then nobody knows about it. So who's coming? How are we putting the money back in?
Right.
How are we repaying the business? And it will fail that way, because you're not feeding it, and the business is like a machine, and it has to be fed.
I think
I
think the best thing we could do is give ourselves grace and be patient as entrepreneurs. It's so amazing when we have this vision in front of us about what we want it to look like, what success, what work-life balance, what it looks like. But then in reality, you don't understand it until you go through it. The work is what happens from between A and Z. And that is always going to change. But again, if you're not able to adapt or think out the box or, take feedback or anything, then you're going to be stuck there and paddling around a little circle.
Oh, I was going to say, and another thing is that we don't anticipate hiring people. We try to do everything on our own.
Yes.
So, and I'm going to tell you,
what I was going to say, working together.
Yeah. Until you can't master every skill.
No.
You know what I mean? And I didn't understand what a CEO did because I thought you had to do everything and learn every role. But if you think about the top CEOs, do they even know half of the stuff that they're supposed to know? No, they hire people
curious, right?
to do those things that they're smarter than.
Yeah.
Like, let's say if you need an accountant, right? Once you get a certain, are you going to just try to figure out accounting? No.
You don't want
hire
to.
somebody.
You don't want to.
You know what I mean? And you hire somebody that is, you know, what, reputable, you know. But yeah, that, and then the hours.
Yeah.
You don't realize how long it takes to get a business off the ground.
Absolutely. The research alone, like you can have an idea and you need to do like a SWOT analysis to figure out if it's even an idea worth working with. Like how many people are going to actually buy into this idea, because nobody wants, like, let's say you thought of an idea of shooting pickles to the moon. Who's buying into that? Let's map it out. Let's see if somebody actually is going to buy this. And a SWOT analysis is the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats to the business. And so you're looking at everything that could possibly go right, wrong, or other in the business. And yeah, then you realize pickles to the moon, nobody's going to pay for that. Or there may be a certain subset of people. There may be a certain subset of people that might pay for it.
But you got to know and be ready to get in front of them.
Yes, and you have to know where to find them, what they look like, your customer avatar. There's so many things that go into it. And the research alone, before you get started, if you want to do it the right way, can take a while. Just getting that research. And then that's where it comes working with others, because you find other people, knowing your competitors, and they are your competitors, but then networking, because they will be able to tell you, oh, no, you don't want to buy from this vendor, because if you buy from this vendor, it's going to take 6 months to a year to get XYZ. You want to network. And I know that it's hard because this is your baby and you don't really want to share it with anybody.
There's enough for everybody.
There is enough to go around, and your customer is not going to always look the same as your competitor's customer.
Right.
Like McDonald's people are not necessarily Burger King people. And you know, it's all different.
And they still thrive.
They still are here.
People still eat at both places.
They are
Everybody
still here. They're still here.
So what advice would you give to new business owners or people that are interested in starting a business? I'll go first. Keep your day job. Keep your day job. I am so serious. It will save you so much time. Keep your day job. Build this on the side. You know, that's what I would say, because you would still have capital coming in while you're trying to build a business. And in that process of you saving the money and working during the day, you can build it in a bank, like an account.
Yeah.
Have that grow. Leverage that money. Build business credit while you're still working. And then by the time you're ready to, like,
go in full steam,
you'll have 3 months to even hire employees. You'll have 3 months to have office space if necessary. So that would be my, keep your day job. Don't do this. It's not for the week.
I would say don't just jump in without a plan.
Right.
Yes.
Do not jump in without a plan. If you just hate your job and you decide one day, like, F it, I'm going to take this, I'm going to make this money, and every t-shirt I sell, I'm going to put it back into the business. Don't do that. It will suck you dry.
Yes.
I coming from a navigator standpoint, hold on, because I'm pulling that D for done energy. But you want to make sure you, like what Nikki said earlier, you want to know where you are. If you're looking to set a course somewhere, you need to know where you're starting first. So gathering all that information, then you need to know where you're going. If you don't even know where you're going, you're just shooting in the dark and trying what works and not networking and not researching and not trying to learn along the way, you're going to get frustrated. I think for me, that was the hardest thing, is thinking like, oh, I have my personal training certification. I know about the human body. I'm just going to use and not asking questions, getting feedback, continuing to learn and thrive around other people that are interested really set me back. But the minute I continued to educate myself, I saw what I was doing work, and I don't get stuck in failure, because I still fail, still mess up a lot, but I don't get stuck there, because that's part of being an entrepreneur.
And the journey.
It is
Yeah.
part of the journey. It is part of the journey. There are so many. My sorry, I hit the mic. My advice would be to keep going. It's very difficult, and friends and family are not, I can't stress it hard enough, they are not your target market.
Never.
You're going to have to prove yourself to them before they buy in, because they know you as little Renee from around the corner that used to be with her mama when her mama did hair in the shop. They don't know grown Renee as whatever it is that you're trying to do as the entrepreneur. You're going to have to make them believers. And if you don't believe in you, they're not going to believe in you. So you have to keep going, even though it feels like, oh, nobody's supporting me. Nobody is here for me the way that I'm here for other people. That's fine. Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going. Just don't give up. Having a plan, like she said, and not pouring all of your money into, don't sink all your money into it, because things happen. And if you're constantly taking money from the business to keep going and pouring back into other things, because life happens, then you're never going to be able to get ahead. So I would suggest also getting in touch with, there are free mentors, but if you have a mentor in mind for something that you're already doing, like somebody that you may see on TikTok or whatever, being able to find those resources that can help you with the plan, so that you're just not going off of what you think. So like SCORE in your area is free. The Small Business Association, they have certain things that they do for free and classes that they hold. So those are places that you can start for free if you don't want to start with people that you know.
Is somewhere in between helping to solve some of the problems that women face in business.
The problem that we solve, one of the problems that we solve, is having a place to talk about the issues that we face in this area about being an entrepreneur. You know, I have attended a few different type of networking groups, but I felt like that wasn't necessarily the safe space for me to land some of the challenges that I see as a Black female entrepreneur. So one thing that I love about how we connect is, even in our different industries, we experience some very similar issues, and having a space to talk about that, like where to get money from, what's an EIN number, all those things, it happens in somewhere in between.
Yep. So one of the things in how we solve a problem, like Jackie said, is through community. We provide a safe space, like you said, that will allow you to grow as an entrepreneur and share your vulnerabilities, because it's very vulnerable being in a space where all you're depending on is you, and you kind of feel ashamed about the challenges that you have in business, when we shouldn't be ashamed, because you know what, honestly, it's normal. And so to have a community that supports you in the growth of your business.
Absolutely, and providing resources and having that open door where we bring in experts to be able to hold lunch and learns or workshops that we will have, just being able to continue to educate you, because as an entrepreneur, you never stop learning. You never, ever, ever stop learning. You learn even more about what you already know so that you can be the expert, and then you learn what you don't know, because there's so much out there that we just don't know. So that is what we want to be able to provide here at Somewhere in Between.
Yes. So it's community, it's also resources, like training,
such as access to capital.
right?
That's what we mean by bringing in the experts, those that can get you that access to capital, because we have learned that women face some of the more strict barriers to getting access to capital. In 2021, women made up 49% of entrepreneurs coming into the field, but they were not 49% of the businesses getting funded.
Ooh.
So there are some barriers there
49%.
that we need to be able to overcome.
So that's, hold on, did we just cover that? Like 49% presence but not having access. And is that off race, experience? What does that do to?
I think I think it's a little bit of both, you know. There are some challenges. Well, let's talk about Black women specifically starting businesses. So during the pandemic, we were the largest group of people, of women, just people in general, that started businesses.
39%.
Yep. And then when you think about it, our businesses, Black women's businesses, have generated about $100 billion. Sounds amazing, right? But there are still challenges to access to capital. And most of our businesses, and this is a general statistic about businesses, most small businesses close within the first 5 years.
Yes.
So just being able to have the resources for anybody, any woman's business to grow. And that's where we want to come in and provide the resources. But not only that, take a look, a deep dive into your business to see if everything is set up right. What does your landing pages look like? What is the branding? And we'll bring experts on that, so you won't just hear it from us. You'll hear from other experts in our community. And so, yeah.
I love it.
All right, so I think this is it.
And as we unfold more topics, it unfolds maybe ideas that you may not be aware that you even need. So stick with us. The next topic was profit versus purpose. So again, some of these things that stand in our way, we are here to not only go through it with you and to learn, but to say that this is even in existence for us.
Yeah.
And to be vulnerable and share these
Yes.
you know, challenges with you all. We also will have some events coming up. So we want to talk about our first event.
April 21st, we are going to have a clothing swap. And you will have to register for that, and there will be parameters about what you can and cannot bring. But we're very excited because that's going to be the first thing that we are doing as a trio.
Yeah, Power 3.
It's going to be our first thing. It will not be the last, obviously. And so we're very excited about that, and that more information will be coming out soon. Also, we want to make sure that you all know that we are going to be opening the membership. It's going to be on a waiting list starting out, where you can join the waiting list so that we can get everything together and be able to have those resources all in one place for you all. But in the meantime, we do have a Facebook page that you can follow us on. We also have a TikTok that you can follow us on. And those are the two main active social media sites right now. So stick with us. We're going to continue to grow, but this is what we talked about allowing the business to grow before you just jump out and have all 15 million different things going on, because then you don't have time to spend time in the actual business.
I think you covered it.
That's it. That's all.
Till next time.
And thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, let us know.
Talk to us.
Yes.
Talk to us.
We talk back.
We do. Let us know what
We
you want
don't
to
bite.
hear.
All right. So have a great day on purpose. We love you all, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, gosh.
All right. There we go.